Good morning, David.
Good morning, Karat.
Tell us today, why is it important to consider risk in a strategic plan?
Well, an organization clearly wants to have a strategic plan which is designed to achieve its strategic objectives. Wherever we have objectives, we have risk. Risk is uncertainty that affects objectives if it occurs. And so clearly if we have strategic objectives, then they will be affected by strategic risks. If you have a strategic plan which doesn't take account of risks, then it will have, it runs the danger of being unachievable, of us saying, well, in an ideal world, we set these objectives, we apply these resources, we take these actions, and we achieve the objectives. But who lives in an ideal world? You don't and I don't, and certainly our organizations don't. And organizations which fail to take account of risk in their strategic planning are not being realistic. They're setting themselves up to fail because risks will happen. Strategic risks will occur both within the organization and in the external environment, which will affect the organization's ability to achieve those strategic objectives. And so clearly what they need to do is to think about what those things are and make sure they take account of them in the strategic plan. So we should have a strategic risk management approach which says that first of all there's an amount of tolerance or of flexibility that we'll allow in our objectives. If we want to have a return on investment of say 15%, we would accept, well, would we accept 13? Would we accept 12? Where would the boundary be where that's unacceptable? How much variability are we allowing in our strategic objectives? If we insist on being first in the marketplace, would it be okay to be second? Or is that a must-have strategic objective? And so understanding our risk appetite and our flexibility around those objectives is clearly important. And we'll talk about that in some of our later on videos. But if we don't take account of that, then we have an unrealistic goal and we're very unlikely to achieve it. If we do take account of it, so we understand the amount of acceptable variability in our objectives, and we understand which are the sources of risk that are most likely to affect those objectives, then we can build into both our strategy and the tactics, the implementation of our strategy, good, effective ways of dealing with those strategic risks so that we maximize our chances of achieving the strategic goals. So really it's a question of recognizing reality. We live in an uncertain world.
Yes.
There are uncertainties that matter both within the organization and in the external context. And we cannot set strategic objectives in a vacuum without understanding what those risks are and taking account of them. Otherwise, that's just being unprofessional and dreaming rather than planning.
I agree with you, David. Thank you very much.
It's a pleasure.